ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. During SEAL training, the students are all broken down into boat crews. Each crew is 7 students, 3 on each side of a small rubber boat, and 1 coxswain to help guide the dinghy. Every day, your boat crew forms up on the beach and is instructed to get through the surf zone and paddle several miles down the coast. In the winter, the surf off San Diego can get to be 8 to 10 feet high, and it is exceedingly difficult to paddle through the plunging surf unless everyone digs in. Every paddle must be synchronized to the stroke count of the coxswain. Everyone must exert equal effort, or the boat will turn against the wave and be unceremoniously dumped back on the beach. For the boat to make it to its destination, everyone must paddle. You can't change the world alone. You will need some help. And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues, the goodwill of strangers, and a strong coxswain to guide you. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers.
All of a sudden.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the CARES Project podcast. We are at episode... Oh, that is actually... I made a mistake there. Let's just fix that. We're at episode 153, and we are doing the modern Jezebels. And I'll just fix that. There you go.
What's good in the proverbial hood? You know what's funny? By the way, I'm wearing a super cute outfit today. But what's funny is my dad and I are always matching. Like, we never plan it. This is how I know we have the same personality, man. Every single time I'll come down and I'm like, how did you think of the... You know, some personalities, man, they just do things the same way. That's just funny.
The funny thing is, like, grab the closest thing that's clean.
So did I.
I mean, yeah. So we're going to go in and we're going to talk a little bit about some things and start putting some stuff to bed, because this... I'm going to just have to bring this up because somebody keeps coming here and like I haven't had any interaction with this person for like over a year. And then I saw something that they put out online, and it just seems like people come together. People are like, oh well, they're harassing you. I'm not harassing. I mean, I'm living rent free in your head.
If that's harassing, then why is what people done to me not harassing?
Like I
Like, come
don't
on.
deal with these people whatsoever. Yet they seem to have to come down and warn people. But I'm gonna have to go out and actually send some stuff because it's been such a long time, and people have had enough rope to hang themselves. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna start looking at some stuff here, right now. So this is some messages from Natalie Beisner. Actually, let's go back to the beginning. She comes and says that me and my daughter are scammers and all of this stuff, and she felt creepy because of something. I mean, she said some interest, all of this stuff, talked about the human trafficking, blah, 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 and said that my youngest daughter, Karis, was kidnapped by the government, but in reality, I was just not granted custody. And we're going to look at how what I just wasn't granted custody looked like. And then.
Wait, when did she say that?
This was on July 20. This is like July this year.
That's mad.
Yes. The date should be on the next one. And she had Lisa tagged there, July 21st of 2025. Psychotic. And so she had that psychotic nurse Lisa tagged in there. More nonsense or whatever. People look at that, whatever. And then they have some other people there talking and so forth. So we'll bring some other stuff up. And this is some of the stuff that didn't get talked about because, I mean, I was like, whatever, you want to say this nonsense, that's great. But continuing to double down after, I mean, well over a year on this lie. So, I mean, let's go and see what's wrong with that. Because what was not disclosed was the nature of the message that happened prior to her coming out and telling people, warning people about Kaysha and myself. Whoops, let's go back to the first one. Because she's there talking to me, telling me that I need to be going and calling people out. And this is the person that they're trying to get me to call out is Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And saying that if I continue to act this way, because he put out reposted my daughter when she was in Colorado when somebody came with rope, duct tape, machete, abused pit bull, other weapons that you would normally dismember somebody, and reposted her one of her videos and got some attention. And so I'm like, you know what? That would help. Given the circumstance that she was getting. Am I happy? Of course. But this woman is now telling me that if I don't start doing this, and she's scolding me over my behavior of not being thankful for something that I have my daughter, but she's telling me what I should do, and that if I don't deal with it and go out and condemn him, that she is going to come out, she's going to withdraw support, and she's going to come out and expose all of this, except she didn't expose it. She told a different narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Completely different. And I want people to look at it because, yes, there are things that Andrew Tate does that I don't like. And when I don't like it, I'll go right on his post and say it. And if I saw him in his face, I'd tell him. Yeah. Because I'm not a coward. Right? Like, yeah. I don't know the guy. I don't hate him. I don't have any way about it. But if he does something I don't like, I'll say it. I do that to everybody around me. Anybody who knows me, I will tell you if you're doing something that's stupid. I think you're doing something stupid, I'll tell you. It's just life. Right? Doesn't mean I hate you. It just means I'm telling you that you're doing something stupid. And if I don't like you, I will tell you to your face. I'm not that kind of person that just does this stabbing behind the back. Like, no, man, I don't like giving people things from the backside. If I'm going to do something
to his face,
get it to your face. And this is the kind of cowardice I don't like. Well, let's look at some more of this stuff. And she's telling me what it looks like. This is the audacity of this woman with her feminist behavior. That it looks like me and Kaysha deleting all of our posts saying anything positive about Andrew Tate. Are you sick? This is what she is sitting down and coming to me. And when I did not yield to her demands, this is when she decided to come out and say, oh, I was creepy, and that me and my daughter are scammers, and that you need to be wary about us, because I did not go ahead and jump along the bandwagon and start saying things about Andrew Tate. For what?
Yeah.
What purpose? The guy could have robbed 100 banks. I don't have the evidence that he robbed 100 banks. And even if he did rob 100 banks, he did something that helped my daughter. So if the guy robbed the bank and he helped my daughter, should be ungrateful to him because he robbed the bank?
I'm not going to lie. If Andrew Tate did not share that video in the time that he did, I might be dead. I'm not even going to lie to you. Because the way those people came to grab me, that was a madness. I'm not even going to lie. So there's no way that I'm going to ever go out and say something like that, because it's like I don't have the evidence for that. And he's literally probably the only person with any influence who's ever exposed the situation the way it was, like just sharing it like that, which I don't know what his opinion is. I don't know him personally, but the fact that he shared that in that time, it's like that was clutch. I'm not even going to lie.
The funny thing is she says, I'm not going to tell you how to run your account, but then
tells us to delete every post about Andrew Tate. Like, well, not only just delete every post about Andrew Tate, but also denounce him.
Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
Nah.
And then she says that you and your daughter should refrain from publicly praising the character of a man who's being accused. That, again, is common sense. So she's going to tell me what I should be doing as a man when she's a woman. Yeah. This is 100% feministic, Luciferian behavior. Like, she can tell me as a man what I should be doing as a man.
Yeah.
Right? This is what she's thinking. She's telling me that she needs to direct me, and then she's saying that Tate, by his own words, is no better than Myron, and at worst, he's a criminal. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. Myron's a spineless. He is spineless as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
he pipes his mouth and says so many dumb things. Regardless of the situation, they're not the same caliber of a person. Not. When I was younger and I was a kid, I would have definitely punched Myron Gaines in the face if I saw him talking that trash. When I was under the age of 18, of course I would have. I would have punched him in the face. I'm grown up and an adult. I wouldn't do it now. But when I was a kid, if he was saying that stuff on the playground, I would have smashed his face in. That's just the way it is. He does his dumb stuff. I'm old enough now, I won't waste my time on it. But Myron Gaines says he sounds like a woman.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead. And then when I talked about my engineering report is evidence, she's like, no, it's not. So you know engineering now. You know engineering. You're somebody who has a high school education. You went to do some acting and so forth, but now you know engineering. And then she talked about stuff about, and she goes, so shut up about Tate. You and your daughter both. Like, who the hell do you think you are? You're talking to me like you're my mother. She is scolding me like a child.
Yeah.
This is textbook feminist Jezebel behavior.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me like it is. And she's like, your daughter offered very high praise. She said no other man other than you was as disciplined. Well, Andrew Tate's more disciplined than a lot of people. I'll give him that. He is.
He's a very disciplined individual. That's just a basic. It's just logic. It's just common sense from watching. Anybody can observe that. That's not anything. That's just the facts.
Even if I hated someone and they were my enemy and they were trying to kill me, men understand whether or not they have a worthy opponent. You don't have to be somebody's best friend to understand that person has qualities and skills. You don't have to know a person to be like, okay, well, you have to have a certain amount of discipline and fortitude to get to where you're going,
I
regardless of whether it's for good or bad, but you can recognize that there's discipline. This is what, like, I mean, this is, you can tell that she doesn't have a clue of how men operate, none
yeah,
whatsoever. And then
yeah.
she's doing things thinking that because she's not talking, because I asked her, I actually asked to have a phone call with her or a video call to talk about it face to face, and she declined. Which, when a woman is hiding their face, yes, I know this is exactly
Someone
it.
said feminists really hate the fact that Andrew Tate
Yeah,
was innocent. Yeah,
yes,
they're fuming.
yes, yes.
And honestly,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say right now, Andrew Tate has a lot of very opposing values to myself and my father. But that has nothing to do with the fact that he's innocent. All the stuff that we said and did about Andrew Tate has nothing to do with the fact that we think he personally likes us. Because if I really think about it, it's quite likely that he doesn't at all. It's quite likely that he hates my guts. And that's just objective reasoning. I actually, from the very beginning of all the stuff that people came after me about Andrew Tate, had the assumption that a man like Andrew would hate my guts because that's logic, that's basic deductive reasoning. And I moved from that assumption from the jump. I've never interacted with the guy, and quite frankly, I have no reason to. But when I see this stuff going on, it's like, okay, well, something else is clearly going on, and I have to be objective about what's going on in that way because that's a whole different thing that they're trying to do in comparative.
But I even sat down and have a conversation. I said, even if he was a trafficker, was he guilty of this crime? And the reason why you sit down with people like, oh, who cares? It's criminal. No, the reason why you want to do that is because if you will let put a guilty man in prison, then it'll eventually be innocent men that you put in prison. Because you can't allow tyranny to happen to anybody, even if it's a criminal. This is what people don't understand. This is the way it works, and this is how we got here. So whether he was innocent or guilty in my mind, because I didn't know enough about his case, it said it didn't matter. It's like, did
Yeah.
he do this crime?
Yeah.
Because
Did
when
he
people
do
are
it or
going all
not?
this and doing this, and when I'm seeing people threatening me and then going to attack me and throw under the bus with other people because I won't accuse someone of not without having evidence, just like that nurse tried to tell me to throw Trump under the bus for Operation Warp Speed. And I said, I don't got information for
Yeah,
that.
Lisa.
I am not going to do that because I don't have the evidence to do that.
Yeah.
I just, it's never going to happen. If I see evidence, then I will deal with it. But if I don't, absolutely not.
But she told you that your engineering report wasn't evidence, but then demanded that we throw Andrew Tate under the bus without evidence.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
that's some Jezebel behavior.
That's next.
And then when threats. I'm talking about evidence, she's like, evidence, hard evidence. She's telling me that a doctor has more medical education than her and she didn't believe them, but she doesn't have to believe engineering. Well, this tells you this woman has zero idea of how engineering works. Engineering isn't opinion like there's medical opinions. Either the thing works or it doesn't. Because if engineering was opinion, then you would get in your car and maybe it wouldn't work the day that you bought it. Maybe it would. That's not the way it works. It has to work because if it doesn't work, especially when you have machinery, people will die. And so everything works or it doesn't. That's all it is. And so if it worked, yes, it's great. If it doesn't, then you're going to jail. That's just the way it works. And that's, yeah. Again, somebody who is an influencer is going over someone who is a subject matter expert.
Yeah.
And when it came down to my research and the amount of time that I put into this, yes, subject matter expert.
Yeah.
And then she keeps going and saying that Kaysha's point is disgusting because she was thankful to somebody who helped her when this woman has done absolutely nothing, right? And then has the audacity to come in and say, throw this person under the bus, but we don't care. We're just going to use you because you don't mean anything anyway.
Mind you, after the person got arrested who tried to grab me and with that machete, duct tape, rope, paraphernalia, and abused pit bull that ended up attacking me while I was in Memphis, Tennessee. But right after that situation, right after Andrew shared that, Judge Joe Brown took me into his house in Memphis, Tennessee. And the next morning that he took me into his house, he took me to breakfast with his niece and told me that Andrew Tate had shared my post because he's trying to traffic me and lure me in with all of his other women. And he was showing me conversations between Andrew Tate and other women who had sent the text to him, apparently to show to me. And I'm like, how the hell do these women know me or these people? And then Judge Joe Brown told me that he was going to use law enforcement against me if I didn't accuse Andrew Tate and my father involved in trafficking. So it's like, all of this, all of this has been happening for a very long time. And these things are not just like small threats, because these people involve themselves with people who actually try to get us in lawful problems by doing this.
Okay, so this woman, I gave this my daughter gave my engineering report in person to General Michael Flynn. He read this and he went through it, him and his people. And then he said this. Let me read this for you. It says, under a legitimate and rule of law based future White House administration, the issue raised below and other various and grave national security concerns raised along these lines must be addressed, and not with strongly written letters, but real actions holding people accountable.
Yeah.
So this man he's a general.
Yeah.
He was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
And this no-name influencer presumes to know more than someone who was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency and a general and the mechanical engineer technologist who's the subject matter expert who wrote the documentation.
And I met General Michael Flynn in person many times, and I gave him, the first time I met him, my dad's research. And then he come out publicly and said this about my dad's work. So it's like, he also met us in person. He's also come on our show and talked. And so it's like, how are they going to listen to this woman who's an influencer with no more than a high school and a failed actress, and by, many's volition online or whatever, apparently, but not the general and my dad, who's an expert, subject matter expert.
The funny thing is that, a lot of people warned me to not have anything to do with General Flynn.
Yeah.
And a lot of people warned me not to have anything to do with Artur Pawlowski.
Yeah.
A lot of people warned me not to have anything to do with Christopher James. But all the people everybody warned me not to have anything to do with were all the people that did things. And I can tell you right now, from what I know, and I'll be putting this out in the coming week, that if General Flynn got to do what he did and wanted to do, we probably wouldn't have had these last 5 years.
Probably not.
Because he wanted to investigate the defense contractors. And when I began to look in on the back end of what was going on, if those contractors got audited, and those are people like EcoHealth Alliance, Metabiota, and all these places that are going into all these defense contractors, if they start going and auditing them, they're screwed. They would have got caught, and they would have got caught big time. And they're like the NIH and the NIAD, they knew 100% that the conditions that EcoHealth Alliance, that working on COVID, that they knew that was not any way to be done. When they were sitting down, and he's like, oh yes, I thought it was great. Well, guess what? They have a whole division of engineers that they work with for building facilities. And they were also helping the Chinese get up to snuff because they identified that they had problems with their containment. And yet you went ahead and brought that in. And then you saw Bangladesh strain coming from Winnipeg, which is a level 4 pathogen. And then it is found in patients from spike protein sequenced at Wuhan.
Yeah.
That is, you're done right there. You're done. these guys are done. And if this guy had gotten to do what he did, this is why they hate him, because they would have put a stymie in their biological weapons program, among other things.
But it's crazy? Every single person that tried to kill me, they had a list of people that they told us that I better not deal with. And
Of
it was
course.
always, and Andrew was always the top of that list. Like people I just never know. And one of the first things they talk to me about is dealing with Andrew Tate. And I'm like, who the hell? What the hell? And Flynn, like you said, Archer Pulaski, but for me it was, different or whatever.
So here's her. I sent her the information. She barely got to read it, and this was a 200-page engineering report with about a 3,800-page appendix, and that was part of a petition as well. That she went and thoroughly reviewed all of that and said that that's not evidence. I don't think so.
Natalie?
That's yes.
Oh yeah.
This woman's insane, and
That
anybody
is
who wants to
insanity.
believe something like this, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn, right? Because this is just lunacy.
Yeah.
Lunacy. And all of the cucks that are following her, you're people that do this kind of stuff, and I'm not the only person that is having you. You guys are the ones that are burning your nation down. You're acting like a bunch of Ahabs when Jezebels are running rampant. This is nonsense.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, yeah, let's take a short break and we'll get into some videos and show of what was called just losing custody. I mean, you can't make this up, but this is actually kind of funny. Anyway, let's take that break.
Hello friends, my name is Kaysha and I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. And I'm also a survivor of human trafficking. My trafficking began in Saskatchewan, moved into Alberta, and even crossed into the United States. I was stalked, hunted, and ignored by the very systems over the last 5 years that were meant to protect me. This is why, with my father Dale Richardson, we started the Karis Project. This is an Indigenous, survivor-led movement for humanity dedicated to exposing trafficking, government corruption, and holding institutions accountable. One of the most powerful tools that we are using is the petitions for redress of grievances. These are lawful constitutional actions rooted in Canadian and US law, and in treaties that tie us together across provinces, across states, and even across borders. These petitions are precedent-setting. They create a binding record. They demand accountability while representing reconciliation in action. Indigenous and non-Indigenous people working side by side to preserve liberty for all. But we cannot do this alone. We need your help to keep this movement alive, to raise awareness and to build a legacy of justice for Indigenous women, for trafficking survivors, and for families everywhere. Thank you. Please stand with us. Your support makes this work possible. Together we can restore justice, heal families, and defend freedom. And I will close with my favorite quote. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who cannot be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. And men who will stand for the right, though the heavens may fall. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, now we're back, and yeah, support the fight against the human trafficking. You saw the QR codes, or you can go to in the ticker. You can see there to support the Karis Project at the donor box or the Give Send Go that you see going there, or you can go to mypillow.com/Karis and call 800-845-2942. Use the promo code Karis. I mean, support a good cause. We're here fighting this fight, doing everything on our own dime, and everything else being wiped out financially. So now we're going to go in and we're going to look at some of the stuff in the courts. And she also, Natalie, said that Kaysha was trying to get a U visa, which she never actually ever tried to apply for a U visa. People were trying to tell her to do that, but she never did.
There was one specific lawyer actually who
yes,
suggested I do that, which is very interesting.
and then came and packed up. And then
Yes.
we're going to look at some of the documents from the police and what they said, because we're going to go through what actually happened, because this was also reported to law enforcement. Like I might add, we've talked to law enforcement, we'll be talking to more law enforcement, because this is an investigation and they have to investigate it. And yes, after, when it comes down to these type of things, and in Canada, there's no statute of limitations for rape or human trafficking. None. And considering that everything that was going on, it is continuing. It is an active crime because of people who are holding back. This is one of the women that were running around calling Andrew Tate a trafficker. What she's doing is actually facilitating trafficking. And so we're going to show you what they said I lost custody on. Just lost custody.
For what? This is an illegal warrant.
Oh, sorry.
No, it is not.
This
is a lie. This is a lie.
Sidewalk?
This is a lie. You were stopping me from doing the law.
Back up here.
What is the reason for the arrest? What is the reason for the arrest?
No, you will not. Do not
What is the
This is not a
reason?
lawful arrest.
What is the reason
not
for
a
the
lawful
arrest?
Do not.
What is the reason for the arrest?
This is an
What
unlawful
is the
arrest.
reason for the
Pursuant to
arrest?
269.1.
What is the reason for what is the reason?
I've already applied
What
to
is
your
the reason? What is the reason?
Do not touch it.
What is
Do
the
not
reason
touch
for
it.
the arrest?
You see this wickedness?
What is the reason?
God
What
is
is
going
the
to judge you
reason for
today.
the arrest?
You will not live. Father in heaven, I ask of you this day to pour out your
What
spirit
is
upon
the
your
reason?
children.
You-
Tomorrow
what is
I
the
ask of you this day
What is
to
the reason?
slay the servants of Baal.
What
Do
is
not
the
allow them
reason?
to touch her.
What is
No.
the reason?
In the name
What
of
is the
Jesus,
reason?
I ask of you this day.
What is the reason? You did not state the reason for the arrest.
Tell me the law. Tell me the warrant. Tell me the warrant.
What is the reason?
your arm. Give me your arm now. Give me your arm.
You will not.
What is the reason? Stop!
We'll explain it to
Stop!
You're resisting arrest and
No, what is the reason for the arrest?
the public health order.
No, it's not. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. That is not what the public. That is not what the public order says. I'm not required to go with you.
Sit down.
Get it.
I'm not required to go with you.
Get in the vehicle.
You have my backpack on. How am I supposed to sit
Lift your
down?
feet up. Lift your feet up.
What about the court hearing?
You guys are not supposed to be here for the court hearing. It's a telephone hearing.
No, it's
No,
not.
it isn't.
It is.
That's not what's listed.
It's not.
That's not what's listed.
It's not a telephone hearing, sir.
She's not even supposed
Lift
to
your
be
feet up. She's not supposed to be in public.
It's
That's not
notarized.
what it says. It
It
says
says-
that I can wear a mask.
It says that you can wear a mask.
Pulling me.
Yes, because you're arrested.
It says that you can go to things that are necessary. Isn't court necessary, though?
All right, that's good enough. People have seen this. This is up on my X page. They basically come in and arrest us going into the court, right? My youngest daughter was already abducted. So let's just see what they did when I went into the court, when they arrested me and took me away. But let's actually, before that, because this is July 23rd of 2020. So let me show you something here from July 1st. Let me go in and get this here so that you know that before this court hearing, and I want people to see this because this is the Criminal Code of Canada showing you what the crimes were there. So let's get back there. Let's go back here. So this is abduction under the Criminal Code. And that tells you that if you take a child without no court order, even if there is a court order, there's two different ones. But this is specifically for parents taking their children. This is a crime. Now let's get over. And there it is right there. This is my ex-wife that's saying on June 1st that we're not going to give you access to the child just arbitrarily, no reason whatsoever. Says if I come onto her parents' property, which is where she's at, on her parents' farm with my daughter, youngest daughter, Karis, that she was going to call the police. That, again, is a violation of this abduction. That's a crime in Canada. And this is the RCMP saying that they came and arrested me. When they arrested me, that they had a warrant for resisting arrest the day before I got arrested, because it was July 22nd, they had the warrant for resisting arrest. And then they also said when I got arrested and so forth, and they said that I left and went as soon as I got to the hospital. And then they said that they were there, what time they arrested me, at 10 to 9, going into the courthouse, right? And that they took me and I got strapped to a bed and drugged against my will. So there we have that there. So we have that stage set there. So my daughter, the youngest daughter, Karis, is abducted. I'm going to court to deal with it. The court directs the RCMP to keep me out of court. They take me and arrest me and my daughter Kaysha going into the court that day. We're also going into the court against them for COVID. Well, let's see some of the orders that they put out from the court and just see, because this was just a custody hearing that I lost, and the government didn't actually do anything to interfere with that or torture me or all of that nonsense. And then my daughter ended up getting raped by the guy who was filming that when I was strapped to the bed and being drugged. So let's get that through here. Actually, let's look at the bed. Let's look at the bed so people have an idea of where they took me. And then this guy was raping my daughter while I was on that bed. So there's my mother. She took the picture of the bed with her purse on it so that we're in the hospital. There's another one of the bed. And another one with the straps. And that is where I got taken, stripped and strapped and drugged. Stripped, strapped, and drugged on that. And while that was happening, and Kaysha was taken to another facility, being interrogated, even though she was there for quarantine, they were interrogating her about the engineering controls that we were taking the RCMP to court over, and everything else like that, and basically blocked us from entering the court for 2 court hearings. Let me pull up what they actually what they were doing. If you want to throw in any details about what happened to you while I'm pulling this up, you can go ahead, Kaysha.
Also, what people might not realize is that when they did that to me, like that day when we were going in front of the court, I was with my dad because I was just recently savagely beaten within an inch of my life by my ex-husband and hospitalized for like many weeks, and was told that I needed to be on like medical leave for a couple months. And I was not even allowed to do that. I was forced to go to work, or else under the threat of like being put on the street by my dad's ex-wife. And so many other terrible things, like so many other things. It's like people don't realize the extent of what was going on there and how bad that actually was.
I'll put it. Somebody asked if there was sufficient ground for the lawsuit. When I was going into court, and I actually sued the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan, because they're supposed to regulate the practice of engineering. And when the government put out those bad engineering controls that would spread disease and kill people, they had an obligation to do something about it. And this was such piss poor engineering practice, there was no way they could defend it in court. If I walked into court and presented that to them, they could not ever say on the public record that I was wrong, because I'm not, because all of the engineering science and everything goes behind me. And what they had nothing. And I did freedom of information requests from the Ministry of Health, and they had zero justification, no engineering documentation whatsoever to justify the engineering controls that they did. demonstrates that they're wanting to effectively spread something, because this was across every jurisdiction that I've seen in Canada and the United States, some worse than others. And that's impossible, because the way engineering works. So if I walked in that courtroom, they were finished. They were finished. There's no way that the judge could tell me anything, because he's a judge. He's not an engineer or an engineering technologist. And so this would have been a big problem, asking why they were spreading disease instead of mitigating it and locking people down instead. Right? $1.7 trillion of damage from the losses from the lockdowns in Canada alone. $1.7 trillion. You're looking at 15 to 20 trillion in the United States. And this was July 3rd of 2020 when I filed criminal complaints. And then it was July 23rd when I took them to court, when they did nothing, because the public interest of, when you're having a pandemic, and now we know it was a gain of function biological weapon, that's a huge problem. So let's see what happened when I went into court. I didn't go to court, but they had the court hearing without me, while I was strapped to a bed and Kaysha was taken to a different facility.
The workplace.
Okay, so let's back this up, because there is give out custody. I got a no contact order, something to not use drugs or alcohol, but I wasn't using drugs or alcohol. They ordered the sale of my house, gave away all the possessions of the house that I was living, mind you. My daughter was renting the basement suite, so everything that we owned was transferred over, because basically I was hauled away, strapped to a bed, drugged against the will, and then my daughter was taken to a facility, and the judge, this is a first appearance. Yes, because
it seems severe being strapped to the bed. Yeah, it is
yes,
severe.
This was retaliation. $1.7 trillion of money, laundered money. It was at stake. Right? That tells you right there. And so they basically settled my divorce. Then they cut Kaysha off from her little sister. All of this while I'm strapped to the bed. No mention. Oh, and then this is the divorce decree that they didn't even do properly later on. But this is for the sale of the house. No mention of them that I got arrested. No mention of that anywhere. And they're like, oh, well, I think that it's fine. We can just, the house can sell. You basically settled an entire divorce. Custody, everything, division of property, all on the first appearance. But on the divorce decree, they said they severed the division of property sine die. That means for another date. Saying that they didn't divide the property, but they were just going to do it later. But that first document showed that they divided all the property unlawfully. They had no jurisdiction to do so. And they only how they did that was because they got me arrested, strapped to a bed, drugged against my will, and kept me away from my youngest daughter. That's torture. Kaysha got taken and interrogated. That is also torture. In a facility where she wasn't getting properly sleep, get a bunch of male police officers grilling her about something under the guise of COVID quarantine.
Searched me under my clothes in front of the male officers.
So when you take it,
weird stuff.
When you transfer the custody of a child, and the RCMP said that the court were the ones who directed them to keep me out of court, and they arrested me and tortured me, the court is instigating the torture.
Yeah.
And a judge in Canada is a peace officer for the purposes of the criminal code and is held accountable for torture.
Yeah.
Now, and all of those RCMP officers, they're public officers, they're guilty.
Yeah.
Then they transferred my youngest daughter, custody, who was already abducted, which is a crime under the Criminal Code of Canada. That is human trafficking right there. They wiped me out financially, took everything I had, drove me into poverty, drove Kaysha into poverty, and we've been living this way ever since. And that is what Natalie Beisner is telling you, that I just lost custody.
I was already on pretty much life support because earlier that year, or within the span of 1 year, I was pregnant. My husband beat me so badly. I lost the baby. I went to the hospital. I bled for an entire year while he was still beating me. And then I ended up back in the hospital and then back with my dad, and was supposed to take many months of bed rest, but wasn't allowed and forced to go back to work. Then the doctor forced me off of work because it was like, you're gonna die. And then this happened.
And this
It's
is
not funny.
this
but
is
it's
what
funny.
they put out for the COVID case. This copy and pasted, no judge's signature. This is supposed to be a legitimate court hearing? Really? Right? Oh yeah, this all got reported to
never read
law
it.
enforcement.
You never read it. How are they gonna know what you're responding to?
Oh, he said that he hoped that they managed to at least identify the trafficking incident. Yes, this was reported to law enforcement, and we're continuing to give evidence. And we've been giving evidence. We talked to one law enforcement officer, and he said that we gave at least 100 criminal complaints over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Last actually maybe 3.5 years.
Well,
For these crimes,
yeah.
100 just in Canada, not to mention the ones in the United States.
Yeah.
And there are evidence in almost all of them.
Yeah.
So this is a massive trafficking investigation. People want to talk about Andrew Tate trafficking. These people involved in the worst case of trafficking.
Well,
for a single person.
Yeah. My ex-husband got convicted of something for what he did to me, but they didn't do anything to help, and he was involved in some of this too. So it's like, even when they do convict people of stuff, they don't actually do anything to help you. Like, they're just like, whatever, sucks to suck. But yeah, this is way worse.
Oh yes, and then let's look at the fraudulent documents.
And that's really a good point. Sorry, that's really a good point that you said, because the amount of people who have attacked me and literally punished me for refusing to go after Andrew Tate these last couple of years, but refused to look at the people who are actually abusing me in real time, is actually sickening. And I think this is how you torture women into lying about men and using them as weapons against men. Because when you torture women and abuse the hell out of them and then say, the only way I'm going to give you relief is if you lie about Andrew Tate, they're more than likely going to lie. The only reason I didn't is because I have a dad. Like, who was like, no, that's not what's happening. Those people are lying to you. But
yes.
I was very scared. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yes. Let's look at this here quickly, because we're running out of time. We're going to have to take a break and then come back on the other side, because we got more stuff. But I want people to see, this is the documentation that they used for the sale of my house. And this is not all of it, but this is some of it. You're going to see how fraudulent this thing is. Let's go back here. You see there, they have my ex-wife listed as the buyer, right? And me listed as the seller. Then they had the name crossed out, and then you see her signing as if she's me. Her name is signed where my name is, and then she puts her name on the bottom. That's fraud.
That is fraud.
That is 100% fraud.
It's literally the definition
That is
of
fraud.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what was used. And then you have a lawyer who is saying that they was representing me and my ex-wife when I was suing him and I was getting divorced. So how is he representing the both of us? And then it then submits to this is where my ex-wife worked at Innovation Credit Union, right? And they knew full well that we were divorced, in the middle of a divorce. Everybody knew. And they still went ahead and took that anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And then this is the supposed order from the judge. You authorizing it through the Land Titles Act, wherein under the divorce laws of Canada, you can only use the Family Property Act. There's no other act that you can use. So this again is a lie.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is the court. The court is involved in trafficking of human beings.
Yeah.
They're involved in fraud. And I have a lot of other evidence from other people in cases. There's a woman in Arizona. They defrauded her house in almost the identical manner. And the sheriffs arrested her mother when she held title to the house.
Someone said they always find an organization, but you never see the money benefiting those actually affected.
That's exactly
because,
it.
like I said, they'll convict someone of someone like they did with my ex, and then do nothing to actually help you. They'll just leave you to die.
And people wanted to understand how they got away with doing this to my daughter. They wiped me out. And then they preemptively made me a vexatious litigant. Because if I were ever to go to court with this, nobody would stand a chance. Because this is outright fraud.
Yeah, but also just the fact that I had just left an extremely hostile and a literally abusive relationship where the person was convicted and there was loads of evidence that and confession of the person as well. Like there was without a shadow of a doubt. And I had so many different hospital visits from what happened. But it's like after leaving an extremely volatile situation like that for many years, and then having this happen with the government and then people coming and passing me around like this, I was primed for this, man. I was literally groomed and primed for this to happen to me because that's like battered women's syndrome. Like you leave from that highly abusive situation.
I was beat their prostitutes before they put them on the street.
But I was physically extremely weak and my body was like on the way. I was on death's door. So it's like a lot of people will say, "Oh, how did you let this happen?" or whatever. Bro, I had like no strength left in me. I had just had like a child beaten out of me, bled an entire year, and was being beaten for years by this person. Like,
so I'm
it's not funny.
But, I'm gonna close here with a prayer because we're running up on time. We'll be continuing in a few minutes to go through the rest of this stuff because this is the type of thing that is going on, and so many people have suppressed this and hid this. And they have concealed trafficking, and you cannot aid or abet traffickers in any way. And some of these guys, the way that they've been going on, like this Natalie Beisner girl, are active participants in this trafficking by going ahead and deliberately doing everything they can to conceal it and stop people from helping it so that they could get away with the trafficking and conceal this, because you can't tell me that you're going to go out and do these outright lies and then come after me and try to corner me to go after Andrew Tate and then go after me because I said I'm not going to do that because I don't do things without evidence. And then you're going to go ahead and do this and punish me, and every person is trying to do this. You know what? Honestly, I want to go now because of what this has happened. I want to speak to Andrew Tate myself because I want to know what it is that people are trying to connect me to this man for.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because this is insane.
Yeah, because people would come and tell me like, "Oh, you're the female Andrew Tate." Bro, I've never met him. "Oh, you're one of his paid assets." I don't know him. I don't even have money.
This is exactly it. Like,
I'm literally pissed.
I don't know the guy, but people are trying to get me to incriminate him or connect me to him or all this kind of stuff. I don't know. But what I see, what this Natalie did, I don't agree with that. That's 100% wrong. Sorry. That's criminal. Anyway, let me close here with a prayer. I'll give you your final thoughts, Kaysha. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. We thank you for the hope that you have given me this day. And Lord, we thank you for all the work that you have done and help the men and the women to come together. And Lord, help that we would turn away from our wickedness and come to Jesus. And Father, this day I ask of you in the name of Jesus to open our hearts and minds to your will. And Lord, bless all the people that are doing what is right. And Lord, I ask of you this day to expose all these wicked people for the evil that they have done. I ask of you this day to be with us and bless us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Yeah, guys, just stick around after the commercial. We're going to do part 2. I'll give my final statements there.
What?
Said for them to stick around for part 2. I'm going to give my final statements there after the part 2 is going to happen after the commercial, but I'll give my final statements in the next show.
All right, we will see you guys soon.
Several times a week, the instructors would line up the class and do a uniform inspection. It was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any smudges. But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough. The instructors would find something wrong. For failing the uniform inspection, the student had to run fully clothed into the surf zone, then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered with sand. The effect was known as a sugar cookie. You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day, cold, wet, and sandy. There were many a student who just couldn't accept the fact that all their efforts were in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it through training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it. Sometimes, no matter how well you prepare or how well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie. It's just the way life is sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward. Every day during training, you were challenged with multiple physical events: long runs, long swims, obstacle courses, hours of calisthenics, something designed to test your mettle. Every event had standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on a list, and at the end of the day, those on the list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics, designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day would be more difficult and more circuses were likely. But at some time during SEAL training, everyone made the circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on the list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics got stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times, it will test you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses. At least twice a week, the trainees were required to run the obstacle course. The obstacle course contained 25 obstacles, including a 10-foot wall, a 30-foot cargo net, a barbed wire crawl, to name a few. But the most challenging obstacle was the slide for life. It had a 3-level, 30-foot tower at one end and a 1-level tower at the other. In between was a 200-foot long rope. You had to climb the 3-tiered tower, and once at the top, you grabbed the rope, swung underneath the rope, and pulled yourself hand over hand until you got to the other end. The record for the obstacle course had stood for years when my class began in 1977. The record seemed unbeatable until one day a student decided to go down the slide for life head first. Instead of swinging his body underneath the rope and inching his way down, he bravely mounted the top of the rope and thrust himself forward. It was a dangerous move, seemingly foolish and fraught with risk. Failure could mean injury and being dropped from the course. Without hesitation, the student slid down the rope perilously fast. Instead of several minutes, it only took him half that time. And by the end of the course, he had broken the record. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to slide down the obstacles head first. During the land warfare phase of training, the students are flown out to San Clemente Island, which lies off the coast of San Diego. The waters off San Clemente are a breeding ground for the great white sharks. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kaysha Project podcast. We're in episode 153, The Matrix Reloaded. We are at the Modern Jezebels, and we are continuing this little bit of a journey where we're talking about what's going on here and so forth. And so let us back up. Let me get this stuff back up. There we are. So we're going to play a video. Actually, no, we're going to show some documents first and show what Kaysha was doing. And she actually went to report this, and they're trying to make it out like she's just saying stuff about people but not going to the police. But what was actually happening was whenever Kaysha tried to go to the police, people were trying to thwart her from going to the police. Right? And so let's look at some of the stuff that she did. And so there's a guy there that's with Kaysha that came there.
Bro, not me looking so busted. Anyways, whatever.
And then there is one of the statements. You see that they didn't notarize it. And then you see on another time they notarized it, but they didn't put the file number on the top here. This is sloppy police work, right? Sloppy police work. This is how you let somebody off by not doing your due diligence. But then, just so that people know, I'm going to play a video clip of Kaysha when she was there and informing them about the human trafficking complaints in Canada. And so this is like even more reason why they shouldn't be doing this.
That's how dockets go missing.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this information was supposed to go to Canada. So listen to what Kaysha has to say to the law enforcement when she's there in Volusia County.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh, do you have an email?
I don't. Well, you want my work email? Sure.
Please. And that is it
It was when I was talking to you before. I apologize. I was reading as much of it as I could.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that this is for DSR Kaysha North Consulting
Yes,
Incorporated.
the one out of Delaware that's originally based out of Saskatchewan and Alberta, correct?
Well, there's two corporations. So the one in Saskatchewan, Alberta is DSR Kaysha Consulting Incorporated, and DSR Kaysha North Consulting Incorporated is a Delaware corporation. So that one is for the Delaware corporation. Okay. Now, I just needed to make sure that the culpable negligence was filed for DSR Kaysha North, and that it would be transferred to the RCMP officer, Corporal.
I have the number written down.
Okay. Corporal Scott Smith, Chestermere, Alberta.
And that was the reference number you gave me before, 2023-111-338.
Well, that's the trafficking of a person, which can be added to the personal file I made the other day.
Which one was that then?
The personal one I made the other day with Darcy was, let me just pull it up.
No, I have it. It was Corporal Smith, correct? I have to forward that to?
Yeah, Corporal Smith, you can forward the information to. He's in Chestermere, Alberta. He's Scott Smith. And that all that information could be transferred to him, but that trafficking of a person file can be attached to my personal file that I did the other day.
No problem.
Under my name, Kaysha Richardson, American Indian, and for the sexual assault by Robert A. Cannon.
Yep.
And I do need to write an extra page of information to give,
No problem.
but yeah.
I'll grab that for you, and then I'll handle your complaint at the same time.
Would you be able also, Dale Richardson, he's a mechanical engineer, and someone
Okay.
needs to speak to him and get the statement from Scott Smith. That's why they wanted to reach
Okay,
out to
no
him.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to laugh. It's not funny, but it's funny because it's like everyone really gone around acting like saying that, oh, she wanted to get a U visa. It's like, bro, I was trying to file complaints to get help.
She wanted to not be raped and trafficked.
I just wanted to be safe and not be running for my life from place to place. And no one did anything, which allowed all of these demons to come after me.
The funny thing is that all these people were sitting down and saying that, they were going to get, they got all these people to come after Andrew Tate, say all this stuff, gave him the roll up the royal carpet and all this kind of stuff. Kaysha's been going to places to go in and report trafficking, getting attacked by pit bulls, getting people coming after with rope, duct tape, machetes, and all this kind of stuff.
Sleeping in bushes on the street.
And then people are saying that she's playing like she's being homeless, but she's trying to report crime to the police, and people are trying to thwart her from going to the police and getting people to come after her online and after me and talking to people in Canada, United States, all over to suppress what we're doing. That is criminal behavior.
Yeah.
That is literally human trafficking
and it's
obstruction of justice and a whole pile of other crimes.
And it's using online platform to commit the crimes.
Yes. And then they're working with people in person.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me that all of these things happen by random happenstance. They just all happen to go in favor of all the criminals that were harassing and bothering us, and we lost all the time.
I had Romanian people threaten to call DCAW on me. I had people in different countries coming after me, threatening law enforcement against me because of Andrew Tate, and I never met him. Just because he posted the video. Like, bro, it's insane the things that these people do. And it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Because with the amount of attack and persecution that I was already facing and experiencing, something that stupid, that, like, as a joke, could be very detrimental to my life. Just saying.
Yes, it could. I'm just going to bring this up so that people can see here. So they can see here clearly. Because this is what people are going to sit down, and I'm using the evidence from the police, right? Like, this isn't conjecture. This is...
Someone said it's like these evil people are able to coordinate their moves as one mind.
Yes.
Because they're like one organization of people.
Yes, well-established
yeah.
communications. These people are very good at communicating information.
Yes, they are.
And so let's look at this. This people got to see this. Because you couldn't have done this in America. They would have just it would have been easier to shoot me, honestly. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, oh, he's a black man, plant a crack pipe on him and we'll call it a day, right? Like, the level of what they did here was just insane. Okay, let's get back here. So this shows you right here. This is the occurrence report. And it says that it happened on 1639 CST, but it was reported at 1639 EDT. So it was reported 2 hours before it happened.
Yeah.
Because Eastern Daylight Time, because when the clocks go ahead or whatever. So if it was 1639 EDT, that would have been 439 CDT. 1439 CDT. So there's a discrepancy right there. And then they tell you that the occurrence was for resist, obstruct, a peace officer. Look at the date, July 22nd of 2020. It says the occurrence type is resist, obstruct, peace officer. July 22nd of 2020. So now let's go to the next slide here. And look,
Someone said in a court, such a mistake gets the criminal off. Exactly.
this is not a mistake.
No,
Yes.
but he's
I-
exactly. But he's not even a criminal, and
But-
this is intentional.
But they tell you that they were directed by the Queen's Bench the day before to stop Dale Richardson from
Yeah.
entering the courthouse. Right? Dale
Yeah.
Richardson was instructed that the court hearing would be by phone. Court of Queen's Bench did not want Dale Richardson to attend, but there's 2 court hearings, and engineering is an essential service. And what I was going there for, they could not bar me from going into the court. And then they said a mental health warrant was signed by a judge to apprehend me that day. Never saw any warrant. Lies. They came to my house, shut the door, served them the documents, had it on film.
Yeah.
But then they said they arrested me the next day on July 23rd. So how did you get a warrant for resisting? How could you have a resist arrest on July 22nd for an arrest that took place, by their own words, on
Yeah.
July 23rd?
Yeah.
How does that make sense? So
Yeah,
you knew
man.
the day before I was going to resist arrest? How?
You're black.
Right?
Just kidding.
This is something that this doesn't add up. Like the math ain't mathing on this.
No, it's not.
And then you can sit down and say that again. But then here's the kicker. You see that guy there with that looks different than the rest? Like one of these guys are doing their own thing like Sesame Street? That's a court sheriff.
Yeah, he's got the badge there on the side of his arm.
Yes. So the court
Wait,
sheriff.
no, put the thing over it so we can see. Put your little mouse. Can they see your
can't. They
mouse?
won't be
Oh
able to see it.
shoot!
So the
Yeah,
court.
that little badge on his arm.
Yes. So the guy in the middle of the screen that's right beside me, that's looking toward with the mask on. Look at his badge. That's a court sheriff.
Yeah.
So court sheriff knows they arrested me, but they never really mentioned of me in any documents. They're like, we don't know where he is.
In the video, he said that the judge instructed him to come out and assist in the arrest.
So he was told, yes, he was instructed to come out and help with the arrest, but the court didn't know where I was. And then they went ahead and settled my entire divorce.
Yep.
On a first appearance.
Yep.
And you're going to tell me this is what Natalie Beisner was saying. I just lost custody.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? And you ever hear anybody losing custody like this? Getting strapped to a bed, tortured,
I've
their
actually
chin
never.
tortured,
You know what? That's
losing
a good point.
everything.
I've never.
and
Never heard
the
that
ex had abducted the kid. They were taking the RCMP to court. The court, they had a warrant for resist arrest the day before the arrest happened, or that there was an occurrence report for the resist arrest the day before the arrest happened.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. And there's this is what you see the whole way through. There was court hearings where I went, nobody showed up, and I still lost.
Someone said they probably lied and said in absentia.
Yeah, they engineered my absence.
Yeah, they
through
created his
torture.
absence.
And in Canada, what that is, that's a life sentence for every
Yeah.
single person involved.
Yeah.
Life. Torture is an aggravated assault.
Yeah.
You transfer a child on the back of torture, doesn't matter who it is. Life.
I'm also Indigenous. That's forced population transfer under the law.
There's a lot of crimes, but I'm sitting down that day,
Put my
but everything
property-
that happened, and then on top of that, Robert takes Kaysha from North Battleford while I'm strapped to that bed, takes her out. The guy that filmed her and showed his face on there, that's the guy that took my daughter to the middle of nowhere in Black Diamond and raped her. And they raped her in the States. This guy is, and these people have been covering for this guy, sexually assaulting her and starting her trafficking by taking her to the border, having ICE take her, or the Customs and Border Protection take her and treat her like the illegal immigrant children that they make disappear. And then they forced her to live with single American men where she was drugged, beaten, and raped. And when she called the police, they put it in the family court so that the guy would get off, and then there would be no charges. Because if they had to deal with it, then they would have problems. And so everybody was doing everything they could to make sure that she could not report the crime, even here in Canada. And now that they had to go in and take the information and this interview, they're finished.
Yeah.
Because now they have to put the information to the crown because it's a rape. There's no option. They don't have any option.
And that guy, Robert Cannon, was going around like we're married. The courts was letting him represent me as if he was my husband when I've only ever been married once to the one guy, and he's in Quebec or wherever he is, and he's West Indian. He's black, but he's Canadian. They just went around telling people that I'm obsessed with white people because Robert's white, and people just believe that, oh, Kaysha's just taking advantage of good white Americans, and she just loves off white men. And I really don't, no disrespect to white people. Like, I have white people in my family. Like, I don't care. Like, I like white people, but it's
even if you did date white people, look at the guy, man. Like, honestly.
Yeah, but it's clearly not the case.
He looks like he's ugly. He looks like chopped liver.
Yeah, he does. But it's also not even the case. So it's like, these people just, yeah, they and the police knew as well that I was married, but they let this guy
go on with fake papers that were married.
Yeah, they wrote on a report that they knew he was my dad's son-in-law. He was putting fake papers that he's my married. Yeah, it's like the stories they create are mental. Yeah, it is. And they let this guy get away with doing that despite the fact that they knew I was married. And they let him put fake papers and all sorts of stuff, committing crime. It's like, whatever.
And this is the thing that everybody's sitting down and saying it was just, I lost custody. No, I did not lose custody. This was criminal. And this is human trafficking. Make no mistake, with what they did here, this is human trafficking. And it fits the elements of the crime.
Yeah.
And they use my youngest daughter for financial exploitation.
Yeah.
Right? And instantly you take a child from a father like that, and besides, her cousins that were 3 and 4 got caught trying to stick their penis in the mouth of the other ones in secret.
Yeah.
And so forth. So that means they learned that from somewhere. And it wasn't good. I wanted to know what happened, and then there was problems there as well.
Yeah, the counselor was saying that it was normal children behavior. I was like,
I was there when those kids got caught. I was like, what's going to happen with this? And so forth. So that is there, and we're going to just go ahead and go and look at what was not called evidence, and then we'll move on to the other things. And this one is thoroughly clear in people's minds of what was being done. And so we will bring this up here. And this is, yes. So this is my work, the research that I was doing in school. You can see that was there to the to my program head. It gives you the abstract, and this was a published book.
Yeah.
Right, and so forth. So that this is the cover of the book that was published: COVID-19 and Negligent Engineering Practices. Will this kill people?
Published in the U.S., by the way.
Yes, and it's in the links. If you go to the links at the CARES Project, or if you're watching on Rumble, BitChute, or Facebook, or Vocal, you can go in and find this book, or you can Google it and so forth. But this is the work that I did under the guidance of professional engineers with PhDs. And they were talking about how professional it is. And my program head recommended me for a master's, right?
Yeah.
And because of the work that I was able to do. And these people who sit down and say that they're these influencers, they know better than me. So that lets you know right there what's going on, right? Yeah. And I mean, you can't make this stuff up, but this is what's going on. So we're gonna shift gears here now. What? Oh, if there's what? No, I mean, yeah. Before we go ahead, there was the Kaysha had one of, I guess his name was Hassan Shibli, somebody who does work with Andrew Tate as a lawyer, who said that her cases were very much similar in the way that they were. And when you look at the way that some of these people, like, I mean, were caught trying to coerce people into saying stuff or removing things about Andrew Tate, the people are doing that same type of stuff to us. And the funny thing that we have in common is, I mean, the aspect of not being going against feminism and like the stuff that we be doing, exposing the Jezebels. This is exactly how they operate. And that woman, Jezebel.
Yeah. I think Hassan does Tate pledge with Andrew, but yeah, he said that our cases were like, well, the firm said our case was like identical or whatever, but um yeah, the main people I think that go after Andrew that try to kill him the most are feminists. And even Kamala Harris come out in her new book or something. I seen this on X where they were saying that she mentioned that Andrew was giving problems for feminism and the reason that she lost the election. So now it makes sense why a lot of these things are happening with these women around us, because these feminists are literally committing the most treason and the most crimes, and they're going around literally trying to kill people and
Yes.
get them trafficked. Like, feminists are doing the most egregious crimes.
Yes. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hello friends, my name is Kaysha and I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. And I'm also a survivor of human trafficking. My trafficking began in Saskatchewan, moved into Alberta, and even crossed into the United States. I was stalked, hunted, and ignored by the very systems over the last 5 years that were meant to protect me. This is why, with my father Dale Richardson, we started the Karis Project. This is an Indigenous, survivor-led movement for humanity dedicated to exposing trafficking, government corruption, and holding institutions accountable. One of the most powerful tools that we are using is the petitions for redress of grievances. These are lawful constitutional actions rooted in Canadian and US law, and in treaties that tie us together across provinces, across states, and even across borders. These petitions are precedent-setting. They create a binding record. They demand accountability while representing reconciliation in action. Indigenous and non-Indigenous people working side by side to preserve liberty for all. But we cannot do this alone. We need your help to keep this movement alive, to raise awareness and to build a legacy of justice for Indigenous women, for trafficking survivors, and for families everywhere. Thank you. Please stand with us. Your support makes this work possible. Together we can restore justice, heal families, and defend freedom. And I will close with my favorite quote. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who cannot be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. And men who will stand for the right, though the heavens may fall. Thank you.
Yes, if anybody wants to support the fight against human trafficking, you can use the gift send go or the donor box that you saw in the QR codes, or you could use the what you see in the ticker. You see the gift send go and the donor box. We have an action plan. You can go to mypillow.com/cares or call 800-845-2942. Use the promo code cares. Yeah, feminists have been coming after me probably harder than anybody else as well. Um, my daughter, actually, my daughter did a lot of stuff about Judge Joe Brown. If you go back into some of our um, earlier podcasts, we discussed this and showed the text messages where he was trying to force her to turn against me, and then he tried to get her to make some kind of allegations against Andrew Tate. And when she refused, when she's like, "I'm not going to my father, call the police. I'll give him the evidence. I have to take his evidence." And he's like, "No." And then he kicked her out and had her passed around for man to man, and she got raped in a similar way. I listened to a woman. She was her name of Felicity Feline, and she was doing this um, facial abuse porn where they choke and spit and do all this on people and all that nastiness. And what happened to her was very much along lines of what happened to my daughter after Joe Brown put her out and put her in those situations, get passed around. And because he wouldn't do that, she wouldn't give in to doing his filth. He put her in the situation for her to get raped.
Well, even while I was living with him, and when I refused to date some of the people and all the other stuff, then he tried forcing me to marry some of his 33-degree Freemason friends, and he would have me sleeping at different men's house because he had to go out with girls or he wanted women to come over and sleep with them or whatever. He constantly be trying to push me to drink alcohol and all this other stuff. He also tried to force me to become a Muslim. It's like, yeah, because I just refused, he just decided to punish me. So that's just what that was.
And
But
he came in
I am
to
a
help.
filthy, dirty whore.
But
I just chose to go sleeping around with these people, and I was just so thirsty, and I just am such a whore.
Yeah, this is the type of nonsense that people are going to say. Now we're going to had some stuff that went on with Lily Gaddis today. I had to bring this up because this was really rank. Because we had this girl on our show before, and she was being foolish here.
Oh, and by the way, one of the people he had me passed around to, had me drinking and smoking cigarettes, also told me that he was a pimp and he was being paid to come and sleep with me, and he would take videos of the stuff that he did and said that he was going to be uploading them places.
Yes. So yes, this is the filth that was going on, and so forth. So I said something to her. She tells me that white is right, and if you think blacks are so amazing, go back to Africa. And then she said, again, go back to Africa, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, this is just degenerate nonsense, right? And I talked to her because she says, a Christian, you can't do that and say that you're going to go and serve God, right? And yeah, white is right, you stupid monkey. She's calling me a stupid monkey. This is a girl who's a single mother, and she is really just goes out and she does racism for clicks. And and then after this, she says this: blacks, after attempting to attack me, know your place, Negro, and shows a man with his back whipped. Right? This is nonsense. This is what happens when you give women a position of power. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because they're not coming in here to help build anything constructive. They're there to tear people down. Right? And there it is again. Right? Yeah. Just put there. And then when my daughter confronted her about it, she's like, I wasn't talking about your dad. I was talking about Bryson. And so then I put the pictures of what she actually said to me.
Yeah.
And this is the type of nonsense. Like, at least if you're going to do something, do it with your chest. Do it with your chest. But this is where when it comes down for consequences, they don't want to say anything. And this is what you can't have people like this. This is nonsense. Like, you shouldn't be platforming this kind of nonsense. This is one of the things where some of these women get a little bit of power and a little bit of clout, and they just do whatever. Because my daughter met her at CPAC.
Yeah.
She wasn't like that.
And she came on our show. She came on our show and also praised my dad as a man and a father. The stuff that he was doing. It's like, why didn't you say that to me, to our face? And then why didn't you also say it to us, to our face, when you came on our show and we let you share your experience? That's what I don't like about a lot of these racist people or these people that go around and do stupidity. They are cowards. They will never say this to your face because they don't have the force or the confidence in their mind to actually do this in person because they're scared of consequences and they actually believe themselves to be weaker than the people they hate. And that's why they're perpetuating a lot of the hate toward these people because they're angry that they can't outperform them and they're not stronger than them. So all they can do is hurl filthy words at them. Not my problem.
I have a couple of clips here that I'll show you kind of what the type of stuff that she does on her content, just so that people can have an understanding of what it is. Because when I talked to her, you can go back on the CARES Project, watch the interview that we had. She was not like this.
Not at all.
Those same people want to strip white people of their rights, okay? Because this is a race issue at the end of the day. Nobody wants to talk about it, but that is the great red pill. That's the red pill right there, okay? You know why conservatives have been so anti-identity politics? Is because they want identity politics to work for every other demographic except for white people. When white people start engaging in identity politics, that's a problem. Now, it's not a problem for black people, for Jewish people, particularly, for any other race of people except for white people. So we've got to get out of this matrix, not to use a term like that, but we have to break out of this matrix and start playing by the rules of engagement. These are the rules of engagement. It's called identity politics. And this is why the first move of this chess game was us supporting Shiloh Hendricks, and she raised $800,000. Well, they're still going after her. I think why they waited so long, you know, the real reason why they waited so long is they were hoping that the public eye would be off this case, that they could secretly screw her over in the courts and there would be no outrage. When the spotlight was on Shiloh and everybody around the world was supporting her, they were like, let's wait on this one until people are distracted with another thing, another false flag, another incident. Let's wait till they're distracted and then we'll secretly charge her. So I say we make her a millionaire, okay? Tom Hennessy has been the one that's really been working with Shiloh. He's been the one helping her, making the fundraiser for her. Great guy, Tom Hennessy. Hope I'm saying his name right. But this is the state of the United States. We have no freedom of speech, actually. You can say, oh, this is my First Amendment right, but they'll just throw the book at you. Meanwhile, they'll protect the alleged criminals. They'll protect the migrants. They'll protect the offenders. Because how dare a mom who was dealing with theft going on, how dare they do anything? How dare you stand up for your rights? How dare you exercise your free speech in the country that your ancestors built? In the country that your taxpayers pay your money pays for? Let's not forget that these same cops that are throwing us in prison, we're paying for them to have a job. We're paying for them to tyrannize us at the behest of the tyrannical government that is being occupied by another tyrannical government, or I should say a tyrannical people, rather. People never want to make that distinction. They always want to blame the government of that country and never the people of that origin. Because, you know, if you destroyed that country, where is it? I think it's in the Middle East somewhere. I think there's actually like a war going on over there. Right, that country. You know what country I'm talking about? Yeah, it's not just the problem with their government or their prime minister, actually. It's a problem with their people. Because their people have all the positions of power in our government, in our country, in Hollywood. Dare I name them?
I'm sorry, that's enough.
I don't even know what she's saying.
I can't believe that she actually believes what she's saying. Like, I can't believe that.
I can't believe that she actually has people who watch her show. Because she's not outlining circumstances at all. She's talking through her hind parts and just blowing smoke up people's...
Saying the racist stuff to make people feel
good. Yeah.
And they just put her there because she's a pretty face. She says racist stuff, and then they love it.
And she dyes her hair blonde, and she has blue eyes, so they're going to eat it up.
Yes. That's really all there is. Like, talk to her. She's not a smart... She's not a stupid girl.
No, she's smart. But she, in this regard, what she's doing, she has no idea what she's talking about.
Like, I
It's
mean,
not even make sense.
no. And I'm like, you can't honestly say that you believe that. If you do, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
I really do. At the end of the day, this is the type of stuff that goes on. But when she goes on and does these things, and then they have their little anon accounts come and attack people like me, I don't have any issue. Do I have an issue with what she was doing? Yes, because she clearly does not have a grasp on how things work on political structures. And sorry, First Amendment rights fighting to call somebody the N word when there are more important things.
Yeah, that's
If
crazy.
they went out and raised money like this for the J6ers,
Yeah.
like, or Tina Peters,
Yeah. We'd be in a
why
different
wouldn't they
situation.
do that? But some girl who just sits there and then she bought a house
For calling
with
an
the money that they gave her.
For calling a little boy the N-word. Yeah. Yeah, saying that little white kids don't steal, only N-word little kids steal. But I distinctly remember the video going around of this little girl who was stealing Prince Harry's popcorn in public at a game, and they were in the audience or whatever, and she was just eating his popcorn, and when the mom looked over, she didn't even apologize, she just laughed. And Prince Harry didn't get angry. He was like, it's a little kid. Just laughed, and he shared his popcorn with her, teased her a little bit, and then shared. Why? Because there's enough common sense to know that a kid is a kid. But the internet, because they hate black people, are like, oh, white kids don't steal. Oh, really? Children aren't children all of a sudden? I worked with children, both autistic, both foreign, and both domestic citizen children as a substitute teacher. And I promise you, every child lies and steals. They are children.
Yeah, they do. Every kid does some.
Yeah, every kid, they're children. They don't even have the reasoning in their mind to make the proper decisions all the time. They're just not cognizant enough.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up this. I just have to, because this woman irritates me to all high hell. She is racist to the core, and
Yeah, it's blind. It's blind rage.
yes, and it doesn't even make any sense anymore. Like, it honestly doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I got a couple clips here. So then I'll play these. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay, let me get this. Sorry for the delay, but I'm going to get this up here. It's late. I'm slow, and not everything is going according to plan, but we'll get it up here. All right.
Oh.
Yes.
Lol, yeah.
Ever since I became a Christian, ever since I was married, ever since I had a kid, I've never posted a bikini photo. Yes, you can go to the beach in a bikini. Everyone says, "What, you can't wear a bikini at the beach?" No, I'm not saying that. There's a difference between going to the beach and wearing a bathing suit versus wearing a bikini, posing, and posting it online. Like, why are you posting it? If you're at the beach, you wear a bikini or a bathing suit because you're gonna go swimming and you wanna get a tan. I'm an orange woman, I like to be tan. You don't need to wear a bikini to post social media photos. You know what I mean? You know what? There's a clear difference, and if you can't see it, you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. Hashtag Bridget Macron. Where's your pussy, bitch? Shut up, Candace. Real nigger bitch. Oh my gosh, I need to shut up.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's worse going out in public where people can actually touch you and see you and experience you in real time in a bikini. I'm of the opinion, if you're gonna be half naked like that in front of a man, you might as well, he said two-faced, that's so funny. You might as well just go and have sex with the man. Like, that's just the most logical conclusion in my mind, because there's literally no difference. You're gonna go and you're gonna be all over each other. You're also showing him that the only time he gets to see your body in that position is when you're also showing everybody, thousands of people at the same time. Man said Freudian slip, lol. And facts. So it's like, it's worse wearing the bikini in public. It would be better for you to send that picture to your man privately, or just go and have sex with him, or be in a situation where you guys are like that by yourself. Like, I don't understand the logic in what she's saying, or women thinking that way.
I don't know. I'm going to pull up this clip here quickly, and then we're going to play our final clip. And this is, again, Isabella Moody.
A new study suggests that men who marry fat women tend to have a happier life. Who wrote this study? Who conducted this study? Were they a bunch of fat-ass tortas? Were they fridge-ass bitches? Because this bitch looks like she ate the entire fridge. Okay, this is definitely a very biased study. Because men who marry fat bitches, oh my gosh, or even worse, men who marry women who are skinny and then they let themselves go during their marriage, oh my gosh, I pray for you guys. Divorce those tortas, all right? I really do think becoming fat is a divorceable offense. It's like, you want your husband to be attracted to you, but then you're bigger than their fridge. Are you kidding me, bitch? Are you kidding? That's neglect and abuse on the eyes.
I'm sorry, but this is what people are platforming people to do. And this needs to stop. Like, I mean, and this is like the garden variety racist woman that does this stuff. You just, it's not helping anything. Yeah, the feminist movement fought for bikinis.
That's what someone said. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. You used to get
for
fined
what?
for it.
For what? Like, I mean, why is it
public indecency?
But why is it when the women are fighting for rights, it's always to do more,
degeneracy,
to take off their clothes, and to prostitute?
Because it's satanic. They worship Lucifer of their own volition in the woman's Bible for the feminists.
Yes, but I mean, like if they want to be equal to men are not fighting for the right to take off their clothes in public.
Because in order to be a feminist in the way that they're doing, you have to be a predator.
Well, I get it, but I'm saying men aren't doing that.
Exactly.
Like, if they want
to
be like
though.
Men, then
they see men that way because they're abused, but that's not who men are. That's not how men are.
Men don't fight for the. You don't see
that's
men
what I'm
marching.
Saying. Men are not doing that.
Exactly. So.
Because they have a flawed reality.
I know. Let's pull up this clip here, because this is Nick Fuentes. Because all these two women here that we were just playing, they both idolize this man and love him.
Yeah. I swear they want to sleep with this man.
Yeah, so let's listen to what he has to say.
We have to look at them not as the enemy and Stephen Miller's like our best friend. No, Stephen Miller hates white people. Listen to the way they talk about us. Stephen Miller said these stupid white hippies. I like white hippies, actually. They're annoying sometimes, but they're white. And hear this kind of slander all the time. They talk about white female liberals. You ever hear that? J.D. Vance says it's these white cat ladies. You're married to an Indian woman. You have lost your right to talk about white women ever again. JD, you have lost your right ever to insult white women because you married an Indian woman. You don't get to say that white women are the problem. You married an Indian woman. You have all Indian kids. You don't get to talk about white cat ladies. And by the way, that's not brave either. And here's the litmus test. If you aren't willing to say it's all these Jews, if you're not willing to say it's all these black thugs, then you can never say it's white female liberals, it's stupid white hippies. That is just anti-white hatred. Newsflash, and that's a fair standard. If Vance and Miller, if these people, if they don't feel comfortable saying the problem is it's all these scheming Jews, the problem is all these black thugs, if you're not comfortable saying that, then don't you dare say it's all these white female liberals and white cat ladies and white stupid boomers. You cannot say that. That is anti-white hatred. And Vance lost his right to say that. Let's stop blaming ourselves. People are tripping over themselves to blame the white man, blame white liberals, blame white women, blame what. And I got my gripes with white women, don't get me wrong. But I will not hear that from Stephen Miller. I will not take that from Stephen Miller. You are a Jew. You are a guest here. You do not get to talk shit about white hippies. I will not take that from J.D. Vance. You married some Indian immigrant. You have no right now to talk about white women in America. You have lost that right.
That's actually funny. Just hold on a second. My ex-wife was white, and she was a white conservative who was a feminist who was involved in fraud, human trafficking, torture, and all of these things because she was essential to do what they did. That you saw in the previous episode and some of going into what the next one is. So yes, they are a problem. Any feminist who is acting as agent of the devil is a problem. And it don't matter your skin color.
Yeah.
It matters the condition of your heart.
Yeah.
I know many black people that are devils, many white people that are devils, and many people of any race that are devils. And there are many people who are kind of every race. It depends on your heart, not what your skin color or whatever race, religion, whatever it is. It depends on that person's heart. This is where we need to start thinking about things differently. Right? Go ahead. Sorry, what you're going to say?
Yeah, Nick probably hates his father, man, because he's saying you didn't marry a white woman. That means he's justifying his whiteness through his mother. His father's Mexican, and he's literally the child of an immigrant family on both sides because his mom's Italian or something like that. So it's like, what are you talking about? You're a double guest here. You can't even trace your family back to America that far. You're only a few generations in, my guy. And you're Mexican to top it off. No offense to any of the Mexicans. I don't have a problem with you. It's just you can't be a Mexican and talking like this. And I would say that to Nick's face because, I mean, I don't really care all type of ways, but it just doesn't make sense for you to hate anybody if you're Mexican in America.
I some of the stuff that Nick says makes sense, but some of the reasoning that he says it for doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I agree.
Because if somebody's being a dick, they're being a dick. Just say they're being a dick. Don't need to attach the race to it because they're being a dick.
How can you be racist if you're also immigrant?
Well, exactly.
That's my point. He's also ethnic.
If he dropped the racist stuff and just said it like it was,
more people would listen to him.
More people would listen to what he has to say. He's not a stupid kid. He's not. But the thing is that these girls, they don't understand the way, because the things that they say, Nick would never say.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Not that I've seen.
And I've even heard him say that some of these women are just crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But he has to understand that he's setting an example for them. And he's allowing them to do this thing because they're following his lead.
Yeah. And they can't differentiate the way a man can. So they're
can't.
They think he's speaking emotionally because they speak emotionally. So they're just going to go off the handle.
And this is where he has an obligation now because these women are looking and trying to follow his lead, but they're like, you listen to what they had to say, like regardless of whether you hate what he said or not, you could make more sense of what Nick was saying if you filtered out the racist stuff. You could sit down and say, okay, some of the stuff he's saying is reasonable. With these girls,
if you're a man, maybe.
What?
If you're a man, maybe you can make sense of
filtering
it out.
But I'm saying with these women, no.
Yeah, they have no chance.
It's not even the same. I just want to say this in closing because we're running up on time. And somebody had mentioned that feminists hate that Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate has gone after feminism. And I don't agree with feminism. I'm not saying that when I say I hate feminists. No. I went in and I did it. And anybody's watched the podcast of watching how deeply we went in and researched into feminism, starting from the first wave going forward and showing that this is Luciferian. I have no part of this. And this is the one thing that we had in common, because the way that I raised my daughter is anti-feminist. What my daughter demonstrates is that fathers are necessary in the home and they are critical, and that no woman can do what a father can do for their child, because no woman has done what they've done with my daughter and helped her to navigate through all of that type of that torture and trafficking and rape and all of that stuff. No, impossible for any woman to do it.
Yeah.
My daughter represents the end of feminism because women cannot replicate this.
No, they
and on
can't.
top of this, it was a black man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, worst thing that could happen to the deep state. And this makes sense. Why people would say my daughter's female Andrew Tate, because no woman can do that. She can do what he can't do, because she's the living example of what a father can do, and now she's a woman.
Yeah, just like Marcel said on Rules to the Game the other day, the fathers are a crucial part of that whole equation.
And feminists have come after me more than anybody else.
Yeah.
You look at most of the people who were coming around to attack me and lay snares, they were women.
Yes. White women.
Yes, almost all of them,
Almost
yes.
all of them white women. Yeah.
Because, I mean, this, and I don't have anything against white women. I just have I have issue with any woman that's a criminal.
Yeah.
Right? And these women are criminals.
Yes, they are.
And so this is where we need to start looking at things and doing things differently. Because I don't care what color you are. And even if you hate me, I don't even care. I don't want somebody raping your kids, because I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Right? Because even if you hate me, your kid didn't do anything. Your kid didn't ask to be born, and your kid didn't do anything wrong to me. So I'm not going to let somebody go in and rape your kid. That's just the way it is. You want to go out and do nonsense and throw yourself under the bus, that's your problem. But I don't want somebody to harm an innocent kid.
Right.
Right? That's the way I look at it. I don't got to like somebody to sit down and say, okay, I can work with them, because there are me not liking someone and somebody wanting to kill all of us are two different stories.
Yeah.
Right? I see women like, oh, I don't want to work with that. I'm like, so what? They're going to kill us, so you're going to rather, like, go by yourself and let us all die? No.
Yeah.
This is why we need men to step up, because men know how to put aside their differences to go in and do what's right, because you can't have cat fights in the middle of a trench when you're in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And I seen like this one girl, I forget what her name is, but she pretty much they said something defamatory or whatever about Andrew and Tristan being traffickers or something. Ended up saying that she was sorry because they threatened to sue her and she was just having a bad day or some garbage like that. And they decided to let it go. But quite frankly, and that's their business to do that. But every woman that does nonsense needs consequences. And the more that men just let women get away with just anything just because they're like, oh, I'll just let this one off, then a lot of women are like, okay, well, I can do that too. And they will. And they're like, oh, well, I got off that time. I'm going to do something again. It's going to embolden them in their treacherous, filthy behavior. And it's like, there's no excuse. I took loads of abuse on the account of lots of stuff the last couple of years. And I didn't go around doing the stupidity that these women do. And I have no sympathy for a single one of them. I don't care. I want them all to get the fullest extent of the law. I don't give a damn.
Every person
anymore.
Yes, and we're running up on time, and I'm just going to say this here quickly before we close. Any person who tries to sit down and talk about nonsense, unless they can undo what that was done, they're full of it. This is why they don't want people looking into my information. They don't want people reading my documents. They try to use everything of character assassination, everything, but they don't want to touch the engineering report, nor do they want anybody to actually examine the documents, because it is outright fraud. It is torture. It is nothing else but trafficking. That it was such an egregious way to deal with this, and blatant violation of the law. Judges taking forged, fraudulent documents to steal my home. And then while that's happening, somebody takes my daughter to the middle of nowhere and rapes her. That's what these people are covering up. And every single person that's doing this, they're all traffickers. Every last one of them.
Well, and you know what? The girls that you showed, just quickly, the girls that you showed on here, the news, like Piers Morgan, will feature these girls on the show because they had Lily Gaddis, and they'll have people like that come on their show to just talk, to chat nonsense, to make discourse. But instead of actually talking with people like you to actually solve problems, to actually help people, it's like, what kind of twisted world are we living in? It's like you really got to ask yourself what's going on with all these different people. But anyway.
Anyway, at the end of the day, we really need to do better. And men, you need to stop this. And the white men, you need to check them women, man, because they're running rampant. Because they're like all them feminists. You go back and you need to start reading those feminist books, because for almost 200 years they had a target on your backs. And they're doing everything to get to it. And they're just waiting until everybody else is there, and they're going to stab the knife in your back like the Jezebel that they are.
And they know that you're not going to go to another race of women because you're so racist. So they're just going to continue to torture and punish you into submission because they know you're not going to go anywhere else. You're going to just sit there in your sexless, childless relationship, marriage, whatever, and also take her abuse. And then she'll bend you over backwards when you cheat and take half or everything and then kill you.
All right, I'm going to close here with a prayer, and I'll give you final thoughts. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. We thank you for the hope that you have given us this day. And, oh, Father, this day I ask of you that open the hearts and minds of people's wills. And, Lord, I ask of you this day in the name of Jesus to deal with the situation and help the men and women to come together and humble themselves before God and repent of their wickedness and come together that we can protect the children from all this filth and this wickedness and expose this evil that we've seen this day and that other people are dealing with. That this wickedness can be dealt with is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thanks, Dad, for the prayers always. Yeah, anyways, I think my dad was pretty cut and dry with everything. I don't even really know what to say. But, yeah. Just, yeah. Things need to change. That's really the end of it. Things need to change, and people need consequences. That's really just as simple as I can put it. And people need to stop letting people get away with trash. That's really all that is. So anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one. And to my dearest cares, until we meet again, my friend. And we will.